Hello and welcome back to another stream. I've got a good friend of mine, Justin, with me today, who I'll introduce in a second. And yeah, we'll get cracking on. Let me see who we've got in the chat. We've got Kay in the chat saying, let's go. Yes, mate, it's great to see you here today. We've got Steve-O, as always. I clicked the like button 11 times. Very good. We've got Crypto Bro in the chat yet again. Thank you for joining again. We've got him saying who's waiting for 86k. That's interesting. We've got Wizard in the chat, of course. I knew that you'd be here. We've got Hugo. Justin and Dave bring some clarity to the markets. Yeah, it should be good. Whatever bullishness I have left is reserved for Dave, Justin, Kate, and Soul Season. Sounds good. Sounds like a good plan to me. Bonjour to Lillian. Hello. We've got Legend Block Pro in the chat as well. Hello to you, mate. Hope all is well. Maybe we could pull Block Pro up for a little trio. Maybe at some point, see how busy he is. Maybe we could get him on as well. We've got more people in the chat than likes. Yeah, make sure you do drop a like, everyone. He's on camera. He is. Justin doxed himself. But yeah, it should be a good time. How are you, mate?
Not bad. Interesting 72 hours or so.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. It's we wanted some volatility. It's just probably not gone in the direction that people were hoping for.
Yeah,
is what I would say. There's certain surprises in there. I didn't think ETH would drop quite as bad as it did.
Yeah, that was brutal, that, wasn't it? I couldn't believe that when I woke up and saw that.
Savage.
26% it did from the daily open down to in what was it, like 3 hours or something?
Well, the thing is, on Friday, everyone was getting excited that alt season was here with like a 3% Ethereum candle, which was quite funny in itself, or whatever it was, turned out to be. And it was just, as we were talking about last week, most of what I've been looking at is the total charts and seeing where they're at. And it clearly wasn't breaking out. The ETH Bitcoin chart was looking a bit better, but still hadn't broken out. So I think a lot of people got induced in.
Yeah.
And got subsequently hurt.
I think I seen something. I seen someone say, I don't know how accurate it is, but I think they said like the last 9 or 10 times or something like that ETH has been the outperforming the market. It's led to a dump each and every time. I don't know exactly how accurate that is, but I've seen someone saying, I thought, well, it probably sounds about right, to be fair. So pretty much each time ETH is outperforming the market, prepare your asses. It's pretty much like the lesson in that.
The thing is, everyone's kind of laid blame on the tariffs that were set by Trump. As we discussed last week, Bitcoin was in very, very, very distinct range.
Mm-hmm.
And we lost that range on Saturday and on the daily close. And so all you're going to get from there is then testing the range lows, which I personally don't think we have yet. I do expect more pain. I don't wish to bring any more pain and suffering on people. But at the very least, we need to close a few daily candles in and around support, around 92 grand. Mm-hmm. If we don't, then I can see more pain. I don't know about alts might be all right, or some alts might be all right. But
yeah, I mean, if we zoom out, it is testing the area in it. I mean, this wick would be interesting to me to see if it just completely fills in this wick, maybe that it left behind. I imagine there's still quite a bit of liquidity below that.
Well, that exact zone that you've got there, the highlighted zone, I think we probably need to accumulate in there.
Yeah.
And then you've got all of the candles to the left, that upward compression pattern there. None of them weeklies or daily candles, shall I say, have been retested. Bottoms of them.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it will, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a liquidation wick that power's passed into that.
Yeah, well, it's the case of it that it was just a build up of daily candles, and apart from obviously this one here, none of them have been swept yet. Apart from obviously this one come down and swept this candle here, but this one, this one, this one, this one, this one. It was just sort of like a day, the daily low got put in higher than the day before, and then just carry on upwards. There was no sort of sweep going on as the price was grinding higher. So yeah, it's definitely interesting for sure. I mean, if we go and have a look, I'll let you obviously. I'm sure you've probably got some fantastic charts for us to look at, but I mean that is brutal on ETH. That I mean, there's the daily open there. There's the daily open, and within 3 hours we had a minus 26% move. I mean, I don't know what it looked like. I haven't looked at it on the lower time frame yet to see how fast it was. I imagine it was quite fast.
Well, I went to bed and had a bid set at 2,000. There was a weekly fair value gap at about 2,730.
Yeah.
And I went to bed and thought, right, I'm just going to leave it open. Then woke up about 11:30 and it was in profit. It was in profit, and I moved my stop loss to break even. Didn't bother taking profit just in case it was going to rebound from there. And then woke up to stop loss at break even, which is absolutely fine. Yeah. And then just saw the massacre that was everywhere else.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, isn't it? I mean, the velocity of that move, to do minus 26% on ETH in the space of 3 hours, it kind of just sums up where ETH is as well as an asset at the moment. I mean, look at it today, compared to Sol, compared to Bitcoin. It's in a bit of a precarious position, really. And it's been going on for a while. I think the point now of saying, oh, well, the sentiment's bad on ETH, the bottom's near, I think that point is probably past now. That ship sailed. It's now in a position where, it actually really does need to start performing, or it is in risk of dropping down, I think, anyway.
There is, if you look a bit deeper into it, there has been some considerable accumulation by some whales. Yeah. So this is a derivatives driven move to basically just flush people. And we talked about the flush last week, that potentially I don't rule it out, and I can see potentially a bit more down on it. Not maybe a huge amount, but there's a couple of key markers. If you go onto the weekly, there's a very, very pronounced trend line that's on there. Obviously, we don't trade trend lines, but obviously lots of people do.
This one,
and I think I'll show it on my chart. It's
I'll let you put yours up.
It's been we're very close to testing it. Very, very interesting. I mean, New York Open is going to be sensational, I'd imagine. It's either going to be zero volume and everyone's expecting a reaction, or we're going to get a bit more aggression.
It's interesting for sure. I mean, you look at that. I mean, that was, even if you just look at it like that, that was a decent place to have bids in, wasn't it? Yeah. In hindsight, I didn't have any in, but if you just zoom out, because I wouldn't have gone to bed last night thinking, even though it was looking bad last night, I wouldn't have thought that this move was going to happen as quick as it did. But yeah, there we go. I suppose that's why.
If anyone caught the bottom there, I'd say it's more luck than judgment, because like I say, I had a bid set for ETH. I closed all my other perps positions, or my other perp positions closed last week. Yeah. And I'd set very defined parameters to be able to get back in position, and we still haven't hit them. I'm waiting patiently to see what unfolds next.
Yeah, for sure. I'll let you put. Do you want to put your screen on, or should we continue on mine for
Sure.
now? You can put yours on if you want,
Share
mate.
screen.
But yeah, it's an interesting point. I mean, I imagine there's probably been some interesting things said in the chat. Let's see. Too many bear traders in here. It says Flop Pro. When Lambo, says K, when anything. Kay says my bottom can't take any more probing.
That's a lie. That's a lie.
Yeah.
Well, we did discover a couple of interesting patterns over the weekend that we shared between some of us, which probably not for this.
Oh right.
Screen now.
Is it about getting probed?
Yeah, it was like we had one. Pardon my French, but dicking bum formation that was like inverse head and shoulders going into a double top, basically. Because that feels like how the market's treating everyone at the moment.
Yeah. We've got Lee saying, I keep saying this, I don't really think we will get an alt season. Market is too saturated nowadays. Yeah, it's something obviously we've spoke about on the stream before, is the fact that, a lot of people are probably expecting a 2021 style alt season, which probably doesn't come because, you go back to then and there was a lot less altcoins, there was a lot less assets for money to flow into. So obviously, yeah, the money was a lot more targeted at a few instead of the mass. I think, obviously, it's something that we looked at last night, and obviously it was only briefly because I only do an hour on a Sunday night. But so obviously people were saying, "Is this it? Is this it?" And I just zoomed out on charts, like even high cap ones like Link and Adder, and I was looking at it. I was thinking, well, if this is the top and there is no proper alt season, these are actually going back to like multi-cycle lows. Like I looked at Link and I just thought $1.50 looks primed. Like if this is actually like, if that's it, then that's it. Do you know what I mean? There's going to be no relief for them because a lot of them won't be able to handle another 60%, 70% retracement on Bitcoin.
But the thing is, if that happened, obviously Bitcoin would survive, ETH would survive, Sol would survive, but you would kill every other new project. I mean, there's lots of good new projects for this cycle. You'd kill them all. And I don't think that's the intention. There are many that need to be killed, I imagine, but it's just not. It's not as if we'd taken out a load of tops and people have taken significant profits out. Yeah. So why would you kill them now?
Yeah. I mean, the thing that I said last night was when people were asking, I said, like, if that is the case and that happens, there literally would be no industry. It would just be Bitcoin and maybe a handful. And it would just be a graveyard. Apart from that, like, there would be no industry. It would just be Bitcoin. And then obviously, a few survivors like ETH and Sol. And then maybe a couple more, but, a lot of them literally would just be killed off. So I can't see that happening, but obviously, it's a topic worth exploring.
Well, the thing is, you look at, in the grand scheme of things, if you look at, let's just get rid of all the drawings on it. If you look at where we currently sat, 2021 high was $3 trillion market cap, and we're still sitting above $3 trillion. We're not in a bad position. Yes, a lot of that's going to be driven by Bitcoin, but it's not horrendous, is it? It's not the end of the world kind of situation. And if you look at where we're at, even though we'd had some liquidations, I'd had the weekly closes from 21 on my chart and the 2021 high. So when we got to this area over here, let me get rid of some of my lovely little drawings that sit here. You can see that we'd had these wicks down, but we hadn't actually hit bang on 21 high, which we was always probably going to do. So I'd measured some of the moves down, and you can we closed last week at weekly support, so that's good. We haven't lost the weekly there. So I don't think there's anything too much to panic about yet. So obviously we're in this week, so we've got many days to kind of recover where we're at the moment. And on the daily, all we've done is smashed into this demand here. That's all we've done. Just liquidated these lows here. We hadn't touched the liquidity that would have been there sitting from the 2021 high. So now we've done that. So whilst it's brutal, from a positive standpoint, we're close. I still think we potentially, same as Bitcoin, we perhaps wick past here, just into the gaps below. So I think we're close to reversal point. And you look at the dominance chart, and I'd had a number of scenarios drawn out, and we again, for a reversal, we need the liquidation. I think Bitcoin dominance has liquidated into here deep enough now to probably start breaking down. So clearly broken out of there. I had 3 scenarios of levels we need to take out, and we've liquidated past. So I can see this breaking down now. And then you couple that in with, right, maybe a bit more down. But again, on the daily, you're going to want to close today around these lows, I'd imagine, or we continue downwards. If we don't hold this level here, ideally this liquidity, this price void that's set up here, but it doesn't look very strong at the moment, and I would suggest we probably therefore need to be looking at there as a daily close, around about 3.1 trillion. If we close below that, then we're going to be potentially looking at a few days of accumulation in here, maybe a further liquidation and out again, is what I would think is going to happen. And total 2 looks like you would actually say this is ahead of Bitcoin or the total 1 chart, because you've gone past this area here.
Yeah.
So the ETH might, but unless it really kind of nukes down past here, because the total 1 and total 3 charts, we'd had all-time highs or closer, we'd gone past them. But as we know, the ETH had been lacking any strength versus the other stuff. The fact that we've had this liquidation, to me, I think we probably don't need to liquidate any lower. And then we might fill in this area here before then coming out. And then total 3 still might need to come down here somewhere.
Yeah.
But again, doesn't look too bad. Again, if we hold in this area here to kind of reaccumulate. So it sucks, badly sucks of what's happened, but we're another day closer to it all being over, hopefully. And then this is the others chart, which is excluding the top 10. Clearly lost support here, which is pretty grim, and we've had the liquidation past here. So again, general alts outside of the likes of Bitcoin, ETH, XRP and stuff, this looked pretty much primed to kind of break out, and we need to kind of hold minimum in here. If we start closing down here, then it's pretty ugly.
Yeah, I mean, I hope everyone was taking note on that. Load up your charts, load the charts at what Justin's saying, and annotate, what he's got on there, because you're not going to get a much better explanation and analysis than that. But I mean,
these Bitcoin still might. This is still open. This back test here.
Yeah.
I mean, we were saying the other week, and was talking to Block Pro about it, Christian and stuff, and we didn't hold up here, and it's another 20% drop for alts, which unfortunately has come to fruition. What does look good though, Dave, from a chart standpoint, higher time frame, I think the Sol Bitcoin chart looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's held up well, hasn't it? It's literally just pretty much held the range, minus that day or two of dropping below.
Yeah.
And I think, I mean, I imagine Sol ETH as well is just still holding strong in an uptrend for sure.
But again, all we're doing here is we filled in this kind of this reaccumulation area here. We might get one more liquidation from there, and then we might see a breakout. I still think we're not going to get that recovery like on Bitcoin, where everyone's expecting suddenly, right, we've had the push down and then we're going to break out. Mm-hmm. Again, the manipulation on this trend line, like the hits that it's had, and even where we rejected this morning on the 4 hour, it was bang on the trend line.
Yeah.
It's just that the market makers are very much having their fun and games. But yeah, to me, this, once we lost that there, really the range lows, then we're looking at these kind of candle closes here. But I still think these two green areas need to be filled in. And like we said at the start, I wouldn't be surprised to see a liquidation that takes this.
Yeah, and you know that's been there for ages, because you know we're like 2 months long in this range now, aren't we? Pretty much, or maybe over 2 months. I don't know.
Which is good, because the thing is, obviously, the more liquidity that's built up here, the more when we go into here, I expect at least one of these two green boxes to get filled in.
Mm-hmm.
If we get the fast liquidation, then you only have to look at kind of the reactions that we've had from the area before, been pretty strong. And if we get really deep into this demand area, then we're going to probably, hopefully anyway, that's the energy required to finally break out. Because we discussed it last week, you can't get a clearer range than what we got there. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, very much so. And pretty much like the last one. When we was waiting 8 months, eventually they do resolve themselves. It's just when they're ready to. There's no rush in them. It will expand when price is ready to expand. I mean, hopefully it's not as boring as the last one, because 8 months of the last one was pretty boring by the end. But
I can't see it being that long, personally.
No.
I think we're a lot closer to the end than we were. I mean, some people will probably start looking at Bitcoin as well and going, "Oh, is this kind of, have we got a double top here?" I don't personally see it. I think there's lots of manipulation of the chart that's happened, basically setting people up. I mean, the amount of people you looked on crypto Twitter that were super bullish on Friday, that he's going to go to $60 million per token by this afternoon, kind of thing. The sentiment was too bullish, and unfortunately, what normally happens when the sentiment gets too bullish, we get these liquidity flushes.
Yeah, that's what ranges are designed to do, aren't they? The market can consolidate longer than most people can stay sane, and that's what it's there to do, is grind people out. Mentally, people just start losing the shit, don't they? They start second guessing where we are in the cycle.
Yeah.
They start selling everything. They start like revenge shorting, all that type of stuff. But that's what it is. It's just to grind people out.
Yeah.
I saw that with the last one. You know, you only have to go to the last one. That was brutal. That 8 months, and that was interesting because it wasn't it wasn't as clear cut as this one is at the moment. You know, clear horizontal support and resistance. That was sort of it was like a downwards channel, weren't it? We're just constant lower highs, lower lows.
Yeah, I mean this is the true low.
Yeah.
That liquidation, and then all this, even though we didn't make a higher there, the fact that we then retested the liquidation, held, and then created a new high here, and then it was off to the races at that point. So, but what is that trigger there? We liquidated lower. That was kind of the conduit out, and I suspect that we might have the same situation that repeats itself.
Yeah. It's just about identifying opportunities, isn't it? Because that was obviously the day. That was when the Nikkei dropped massively, wasn't it, on August 5th? I remember that well. And it's obviously there's times when you've just got to put your balls on the line and just say, are you gonna go with it or not? But unfortunately, by the time that comes, a lot of people will have capitulated. I imagine a lot of people have probably already sold the bags in this range and just thought, alts are never coming back. They're all dead. The cycle's stopped. But
it's just crushing hopes and dreams, isn't it? And every time people think that it's done, then you just give them another slap once again. So, to me, what I was saying last week, that we either break above 106.3 or whatever it is, and then you can start looking to long. And that's not just on this. This is on. I don't think any altcoins are safe to trade, because unless this gets tested or broken out and we close the daily above 106.3 ish, or we retest and we hold the dailies above this green box here, then you can probably look to long as well. But anything else that's in here, I think you're fodder basically at the moment, and you can scout some of it, but there is no. We either needed to retest support, which we need to close the daily above here, or above 106.2, 106.3. Anything outside of that, it's just. I mean, this was such a clearly defined zone that was here. Why would you? It's just madness doing anything, in my opinion, anyway. The good thing is we've had the Bitcoin dominance liquidation. We've had, in theory, the Ethereum liquidation. So I was looking ETH-wise. We've got this trend line that comes up here, banged into, again, this lovely little price void. And it's one of those things we was talking about last week, of being prepared and having zones drawn out in your charts and knowing where things are going to react. So clearly, remember we talked about this particular zone here that we've not really had much closure in. Absolutely nuked through it again. So this is, again, either going to be used as the reaccumulation and then out, or will be used again to kind of be pushed down here. But that's being saved for sure. So I think ETH pretty close. I wouldn't be surprised to see like these wicks potentially getting taken out. But I would actually say that back test wise, this is kind of a bit of a mega trade. I think it's personally worth, whilst we're in this range here, anything that gets into the discount side of things, I think it's worth, if you've got a point of interest and we get there, I think it's worth a bid personally, because at some point it is gonna take off.
Yeah, it can only get shit on for so long, can't it? It's pretty much like the outcome. Eventually it will it will have its day.
But the thing is, risk rewards, it's worth it. Anywhere down here, again, you can see where we need to close. If we close the dailies above this kind of zone here, then it should hold. But potentially we've done enough already, and I think we might get a reaccumulation. And again, looking at this green box here as a potential kind of area to hold, and accumulate into.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens today as well, because normally when we have these types of things, you either get this absorption and then it sort of slowly then builds up, or you obviously get the dead cat bounce and then we'll roll over a bit more. I would be surprised.
You get like this, and then it just kind of further liquidation, and it's just
I would be surprised if people got away with just longing it from here and not having any repercussions. It would, maybe. I mean, where you've got that box drawn, I mean that would obviously then go and take out. I think is that wick that would take out that wick for the hour after the liquidation candle. Is that right?
Yeah.
Agreement. Yeah. So then in theory, then a lot of the people that have tried to long the rebound are then pretty much took out. Jalapeno says these are called Justin zones. And we do have Tomo in the chat. We've got Spud in the chat saying it's good to see Justin live. Fantastic. But everyone make sure that you drop a like on the stream and subscribe and follow if you're not. You are having some alpha dropped right into your laps. So get on your chat and annotate and make note of what we're going through at the moment. So it obviously, Bitcoin, and it's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously with TradFi markets being closed on weekends, obviously Bitcoin was the asset to take the brunt of it, wasn't it, over the weekend with the fear and all the discussion about tariffs and stuff like that. Obviously, it got a nuke down yesterday. Well, when it opened, didn't it? The S&P. Yeah. What are you looking on for that?
So the SPX, so DXY is worth looking at. So the trade stuff from the DXY standpoint, if you look on the monthly, in the lead up to the election, the last 4 years, we've been running this up pretty high. And we're getting to some pretty hefty resistance on the DXY. And I'm still trying to work out whether the Trump administration wants a strong or a weak dollar. It's obviously we've got clear resistance coming up on the dollar. Very, very, very aggressive talk from the US. So I'm just trying to work out what's going to work best for them.
Yeah.
But we're going to get some kind of reaction at some point. This could coincide with a potential stock market crash, but this is not going to happen in the next 24 hours. This is going to take a few months to play out.
Yeah.
I'm watching the DXY in general because I think this will be a good marker for when we potentially have a stock market issue or a market-wide issue.
Yeah.
And then from a crypto standpoint, it's if you're looking at where we need to get to, right? So looking at the total charts, so we said 3 trillion or whatever we're at now. I'm thinking somewhere between at least 7 and 9 trillion that we get to in this cycle. And we're at 3. So we've got to find somewhere between 4 and 6 trillion to come from. Now, if you chart gold on the high time frame, on the weekly, and you plot out elections and stuff like that, generally speaking, gold runs high, running up or to the election and then post-election before it then has a big correction.
Yeah.
We're at an all-time high again on gold. I'm projecting around about this area that we might get, we hit a top. And if you measure previous moves, it's been somewhere 15, 20, 25, 30% pullbacks that you get.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think we're at what, 18, 19 trillion as an asset class on gold at the moment. So you get a 20% pullback on gold, that's 4 trillion straight away that's kind of freed up that could potentially flow its way into crypto. Obviously, if it's 30% pullback, then it's 6 trillion, and you've got your 4 to 6 trillion potentially just from one asset class where it can rotate out of.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, my markers are Bitcoin dominance. I think we swept that. Gold rejecting from a high, which I don't think we're far away, like literally could happen this week. And then the sweeps of liquidity or smashing to demand, which we've done some of, but we're almost done on all crypto assets as well. So we're close, really close, is my opinion. And I keep saying that every single week, but I truly believe we are.
Yeah, it's patience, isn't it? It's just people are running out of patience now. But yeah, you do, I mean, that on your chart, if it comes off, you've exercised patience, haven't you? You've drawn on what you think, and then it's just waiting for the plan to come to fruition. It's just all about patience.
Yeah, and again, like the SPX wise, it's in a channel-ish. I projected about, I think it was about the high of 6,600. So we've got, where are we now? Another 10% potentially push. Mm-hmm. But again, you think that this could be some nice liquidity that could rotate into other asset classes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting as well, to see that rising wedge on it.
Yeah,
it's pretty much, this is like one of the cases in it where you line them up and you say it is pretty much just all one trade, isn't it? It's just all one trade, and you're just waiting for everything to align themselves.
Well, the thing is, and again, this is where people, when they were getting super bullish on Ethereum last week, had like all seasons here and blah 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 blah. I was looking at the high time frame charts and going, we haven't had the liquidation. We haven't broken out of any downtrends, and like there's no change of character on anything. Mm-hmm. I just didn't see it. Yes, low time frame, you could have traded it, but actually as we are in what everyone's waiting for, alt season, just didn't see it personally, and had kept the powder dry. I think there are certain tickers that are worth bidding in certain zones at the moment because it's so cheap and it's such clear invalidations. But yeah, we're not there just yet, in my opinion.
Yeah. So what are you expecting this to flow into later on this year, or are you thinking maybe a bit of change of structure and maybe we get a bullish summer or something like that? Obviously, I mean the typical one is end of Q3, Q4, into close a year, November-ish, and then that would be the typical time frame for Bitcoin as well, lining up with previous cycles of post-halving, etc.
Yeah, I mean, if we stay in this kind of this channel and you go, I did do something intelligent to come up with these targets, but I can't remember what it was at the time. But if you say somewhere, let's just go there. So your time horizon is probably, when's that? Mid-March, probably at the earliest. The SPX gets there. This, and then all the way up to like May time is probably a high. But that's just, again, that's only me projecting where I think logically where we might, based on previous cycles and what makes sense. Obviously, there's a lot of, after DeepSeek or whatever it was last week, a lot of negativity off the back of that, and a lot of doubt over the Magnificent Seven charts, which we can go through if you want as well.
Yes.
It's to me, everything's gearing up for a big correction, like a horrendous correction. If you look at the stock market side of things, where are we? So I'll just put this on the weekly, and monthly, it's just easier. So we'll play a little game with people if they want to do it in the chat, and see if people can recognise where they're at. What's the one chart out the Magnificent Seven looks different? So that's Amazon, obviously at an all-time high, and you just look at some of these kind of areas where price has not been in, and there's lots of voids that we need to come back to, like some pretty decent drops on stuff. There's just bundles and bundles of liquidity that outside of this kind of zone here have not been collected lower down. So we've had Amazon, this is Google, so similar situation. We've had this run up, you can see the liquidation into it, but that needs to be filled in. Microsoft, again, lots of areas that are, I would say, are still open. Apple, a bit more, but there's definitely a void here, and then obviously lower down here. And I don't know if you noticed the FUD. I have Bloomberg on every day, and just listening to the different bits and pieces of news, and lots of negativity coming out about Apple really haven't innovated, or Nvidia with the DeepSeek, and this company. There's starting to get some bad vibes.
Yeah.
So Nvidia is just completely on crack, and gaps.
That's the best. That is just. It looks like a meme coin, doesn't it? It's absolutely insane.
Yeah, and we know what comes next. Then, don't we? If it's a meme, it's It's so. Then we got Meta, which has had a deeper retracement, but again, there's some decent price voids. And then finally, Tesla. And Tesla looks fundamentally, in my opinion, different to all the other charts, and it's almost like it's front run. A lot of them. But all of them look like they're running hot. And my comparison for these are, I think that this is like goes to Christmas future of what's going to happen to these charts. That's PayPal. And then you've got things like Intel, obviously .com bubble. Remember, we was talking about accumulation, distribution, all that kind of jazz. These things don't just run up and never get a pullback. So all of these charts, to me, look like they are getting pretty cooked. Don't get me wrong, but they could carry on going up for another 5 years, 10 years, whatever. But at some point in time, these things are going to have, someone's going to have the best short of all time, because there are Nvidia is just ridiculous. This could literally do, like you say, like a meme coin, go all the way down, and then start filling in some of these kind of price voids. But it's pretty ugly, and it's. I would also say it's unsustainable and not healthy to as them companies. And obviously what that would do then to the SPX and stuff like that would be crushing.
Yeah, it would, and it would probably at least cut it in half. Very least the the reality what's looming over when you actually dig into it is this could be the biggest one. It could be bigger than the dot-com bubble. It could be bigger than 2008. It could be the biggest one ever. It's definitely got the charts there to look at it.
Yeah,
it's starting to get the narrative behind it as well.
Yeah,
and it could be the biggest one that we ever see in our lifetime. There is the possibility that this could be the biggest meltdown. And I personally think Trump knows it as well. I think he knows, he knows he can unsettle the market, and and he can do what he wants because of the strength that's in it at the moment. But then obviously, it's then what comes afterwards is the match that ignites. Because you can imagine what funds try and follow the trend, don't they? They don't try and front run things. So they try. You will have obviously a few heroes and that, but they try and follow the trend. And then what happens is when it starts to go bad, they all try and get out the door at the same time, which then causes the mass downside moves that we get.
Well, you only have to look at last week, right, or the last month or so on Nvidia. So we had the DeepSeek thing, and pre-market in one day was 15%. It dropped pre-market. I know it corrected a bit during the session.
Yeah.
Can you imagine something really bad happens? And you get it's running high, and then you suddenly get a 30% pullback. Then you start getting into everyone that's not taking profits all the way up here suddenly take profits, and that's where you get them cascading liquidations down, and it will just not stop until someone either backstops it or someone steps in. There's just lots of markers to me. You look at it and the market looks like it's primed for one almighty pullback.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think timing wise, it would obviously do well to sort of time with a lot of us trying to get out on the last of the crypto market. Hopefully if we get there. But there can also be a spontaneous things that it ignites this, and then once it's going, it's like a train and it doesn't come back. But the ideal scenario is obviously that crypto tops, then everything, and then whatever has to happen, however long we wait for it. I mean, the interesting discussion is, say this comes off, or 3/4 of it, or half of it, whatever. The knock-on effects to Bitcoin for this, because obviously, no matter what everyone thinks with the ETFs and strategic reserve and all that stuff, it is still correlated, and it will still be dragged down with everything else.
But the thing is, crypto is
a very heavy pullback on it.
Well, crypto is part of the financial system, right? It doesn't sit independent. It's all linked. It's the halving cycles. Yes, it's a thing, but it coincides with the wider market cycle. It's not independent, and it's in the slightest.
Yeah.
So all of this, you look at these charts, having these in the distribution range, even down to here, for example, this is good because if you're looking crypto-wise, because this is freeing people taking profits and rotating capital potentially into the crypto space. So it's not a bad thing. I personally would like to see Nvidia push up higher and then absolutely pull off the biggest short of all time. Go for the big short. We'll do a new movie about it, though.
Big Short 2.
Exactly that. So I don't think it's, again, whilst the last couple of months has been brutal on people's altcoins and stuff, there are a lot of things that look like it's favourable going forward, or in the not too distant future for an all season.
Yeah, for sure. And the thing is, a lot. You just got to remember as well. Don't get too greedy with it, because a lot. You get caught up in the euphoria and stuff like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you get a chance to get out for anywhere even close, to what you was targeting 6 months ago, remember to write yourself a little note, or I don't know, put some alerts on the chart or whatever. If we do end up with that full, that full crazy month, 2 months, whatever, it will be the best gift, that will probably be given for the next couple of years. That's for sure.
I am positive that it's going to come. I mean, this just looks like you look at these daily reds. It's not great on charts, but it's fine. Nothing's dead yet. There are some, but I would say it's looking closer to the end than it was. I mean, I was looking at some of the meme coins. So I'd done these weeks and weeks and weeks ago. And showed some of these charts. I mean, when people were probably buying whiffs still up here, and I said at the time, like ages ago, that you had this whacking great void in price.
Yeah.
That we might not have filled until the end of the cycle, but it was still there. And this is why I think it's so important to have, especially the high time frame charts, the weeklies and dailies. Once you lose daily support here, well, you've got this tiny interruption here, but then the next level of support's here.
Yeah.
So you lose that, it's coming down here, more than likely. And I think a lot of people get probably caught looking at low time frames and not looking at these the high time frame charts and understanding the relevance of where we're going about or where the support is. Similar thing I've done this chart earlier on Bonk, which I thought was some of my artistic work.
Brilliant.
But you had this void, and I remember doing these charts and sharing them with a few people, and they were like, "Nah, surely not." And then we just lost daily support. Now we've lost the trend line. So we're very close to, once we've lost this level of support here, if we lose this here, then we're down to here. We're almost at the end of the movie.
Did you see what I did for whiff on the Stonksy Twitter today?
No.
Yeah. Look at this. I'll switch over to my screen quickly. So I posted obviously a picture of whiff. Say, the hat as well and truly fell off. And then, do you remember this scene on Come Fly With Me?
Yeah.
Dog is dead.
The good thing is you got to have humour during these times. But like I say, everyone wants fast money, and people want to look at low time frames. Great, but when price is this volatile, to me, you just need to be looking weeklies, dailies, and that's kind of it. And anything other than that is just danger.
Yeah, that's it. Do you want me to switch back over to your screen?
They can do it on yours if you want. What are you looking at, Dave? Is there any charts that people want to look at? Please.
Yeah, let us know. Get them in the chat. What do you want us to look at? I mean, this is an interesting discussion, because now there's nothing. So pretty much, like Melania was when I think we were talking about it last week. If we go to the 2-hour chart, even if you go on Deck Screener, there is nothing apart from like 2 4-hour candles leading up to this point. So literally, there is nothing on Trump now unless, we do it from here or, wherever you want to say it. But until like a base is formed, there's nothing. This is like major danger to the market. And I think there's probably an ounce of, feel like probably people will start trying to revenge short this or just selling the bags because they'll think, oh, this is all Trump's fault, and then maybe it does get really took to the cleaners because people are angry at Trump for thinking obviously that the tariff talks and stuff like that has dumped the market. So this is in a really vulnerable position. I mean, if we go to the other absolute shitter, where is it? This thing again, same thing. I mean, this is diabolical. This, isn't it? This is actually shocking when you look at it. But then again, it's a pretty clear local top in it. Like when you look back at these things, and then you do realize we've had a few of these things. Like I remember last year was around the March time last year. That's when all the celebrities were getting involved, weren't they? I seen one celebrity got a bloody Solana tattoo on his head. And then obviously, local top into, the 8 month downtrend that we had. This same thing, Trump and then Melania launches and just completely fucks everything up. But I mean, this is diabolical considering it's still got 80% of the supply to come out as well.
But the thing is, it's like I said last week. I think these are, especially Trump. I don't think it's a meme coin, and I don't think it'll be used as a meme coin.
Yeah,
I think it will have a higher purpose. Is my personal opinion. But that's clearly it's still distributing, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Needed to form, wherever it comes down to. Form a clear accumulation range where price is stopped from going any lower. Probably down here somewhere, I imagine about -3. That sounds like a good price for Melania. So we'll see what happens. But it's very interesting because someone asked me last night on stream. They said, "What do you think of Trump?" As you literally can't answer it because there's no data to go off. You can't say anything because there's nothing to the left.
But there's nothing to trade.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to buy it and hold it spot. If anyone can see anything different there where you go, that's worth a long, then great.
Yeah.
But there's just nothing.
I'll tell you what has held up well is hype. That's held, deep within that range, obviously. There's still room to the left-hand side, but in terms of just holding strong, this is held quite well, better than probably any altcoin that I've seen. I think actually,
but it's very new, and from what I understand, it's a very good project, and will do really, really well in the future. I haven't bought any because it hasn't hit my points of interest. But I think anything over probably $26, $24, $26 is probably not a bad position to hold it from. Clear level to gain. But I wouldn't long it at the moment, even if you come down to that box, because, you could trade the range, I suppose, from what's that, $19 to $24.
Yeah.
There's clear resistance at 24. And is it still distributing, or are we reaccumulating?
Yeah, I don't have any myself, but speaking of strength,
I know
this fucker again came in for the pretty much a perfect retest, didn't it?
Yeah.
Stink bids just in this zone again. You look, all you have to do is zoom out. I mean, yeah.
But the thing is, understanding where liquidity sits.
Yeah. This thing is unbelievable.
Easy invalidation there, right? Because whether it's daily or 4 hour, it's pretty clear where things are going to. If it closes below that, then you just manually close the trade. But it's not the worst. Not the worst at all.
This thing is actually insane when you actually zoom out on it and you see exactly where it's come from. I mean, that is unbelievable, innit? I mean, let's see. So I think it was around about 2 cents, weren't it, or something anyway? If we go from just round about New Year last year.
Is this when you're going to tell me you've been in it since then, though?
Oh, I wish. I mean, literally, you only needed one trade, didn't you? That's the only thing you needed. You didn't need to do anything else for a whole year. You just needed to buy this at the start of last year and just sit there. But at the moment, we're on an 83x from pretty much New Year's Day of 2024. So pretty incredible stuff. But again, you know, it's leaving behind big, massive things. And I mean, this is huge inefficiency here.
Yeah.
For at some point.
Yeah, it held really nicely, didn't it?
Yeah. But
the thing is, it depends where it pushes from here, because obviously you had that push up liquidation again, or into liquidity overnight. So this is going to have to just keep chugging, because if it starts slowing down, then at some point you are going to get massive distribution. And this just might be one that runs ahead of others.
Yeah. More than likely. I think there's a lot of Middle Eastern money as well backing it. I think is what people have explained it to me as anyway. But yeah, I mean, when this eventually distributes, I mean, what is it? Where is it now? It must be closing in on getting towards one of them top spots. Where is it?
27.
Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, so yeah, it's closing in. I mean, 5 billion. You know, it's whenever it distributes, wherever it goes, we'll open a lot of capital for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, how high it goes, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. What have we got going on in the chat? Spud says that was quality bonk TA.
I know how much Spud likes bonk as well. But
yeah. Dave's favourite moodeng. Oh no, not moodeng. Popcat, Velo. Well, we can have a look at these. Soul Season, yeah, we'll have a look at Soul Season as well. Hype doing buybacks on liquidations. So its mechanics will protect it. Okay, that's interesting. Chad Moonmore is sitting on a big pile of... Oh, where is he? Well, Chad Moonmore must be a millionaire by now then. That's for sure if he's sitting on a big pile of this after an 83x. What was we going to do then? What was we going to do? Oh, Soul. Yeah, let's have a look at Soul Season before we have a look at anything else. Let's go over to Deck Screener. Soul Season has held up very well, hasn't it? But I mean, quickly, yeah. This is obviously this is what we looked at last night. You know, there is nothing to. These are 4-hour candles. There's nothing to suggest where it stops. So it's better not to second guess it unless you're like a gambler or whatever. But I mean, look at the volume cool down on it as well.
Yeah, which is just that's a pure sign of distribution, right?
Yeah, pretty much dead from then on. I mean, it is reaching pretty much nothing. But yeah, there's nothing to. So you just got to, better waiting for some structure to form. Unless you're a gambler. Let's have a look at Soul Season. So this one, yeah, I mean, it's still within its. This is sort of the kind of thing you want to see on Trump, innit? Like, it looks kind of similar to Trump. Obviously, structure-wise, launch up, drop down, distribution down, and then flatline. Obviously, this box is clear where, particularly towards the lower box, the lower end of the box is where buyers step into the market. You can see it here. Again here now. Where demand's coming in, and where people are willing to step into the market. But yeah, this thing is destined for greatness eventually.
Just like you, Dave, you're destined for greatness,
and you, mate, as well. Well, you already are greatness. But yeah, this thing is going to be interesting. Do make sure you look up Soul Season. Wiz, the dev, is in the chat. So yeah, and then yeah, what ones did people want us to look at? I heard Velo was one. Velo is on here. So Velo's on here somewhere. I think it looks like the last time we were looking at Velo, it was in this channel. It broke out of the channel. You can see the rejection from it there as well. And then yeah, we've dropped down. I think I've got this pinned out on Velo. I don't know if it goes that low. Like, I don't know if it goes that low, yes. But I mean, certainly looking. I mean, that in itself will be a bit of still a brutal drop in it. I mean, even for me, that's down to the first line's another 50%.
Yeah, I think there is. We hit a weekly backtest level, and have had a nice bounce. But there is obviously significant liquidity that sits between 0.097-ish and 0.012. Whether we get there, I mean, if it goes there, I will definitely bid that, because I know someone that's got a significant shareholding or a significant position on this, and I think it's probably an easy 20x from there. But who knows at this point? It depends. This one obviously front run a lot of other coins. We've lost that support level at 20 cents, 0.02 cents. So it's just where it holds now. I'm not overly
interesting.
Tricky.
Yeah. It's still because I mean, even towards say the middle of that zone, you're looking at that's like a 35-40% drop in it.
Yeah,
brutal. That's for sure. I think Velo though. No, I think it's been like kind of going against the market, hasn't it? I think like when the market's been green, it's been red, and then when it's been red, Velo's been green. Or
it's run pretty well.
Yeah,
it's just outside of a few, there's not much green today. Like I say, OM is one of them. Bell is another one that's green. Sorry. BEL. Yeah.
Let's see. BEL.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 8% up. Oh yeah, wow! Look at that.
Looks pretty decent. If you go on the weekly or the daily, it looks it's
looking nice. Yeah, looks nice. That still within its range as well, too, isn't it? I mean, yeah, that was a wild run that it went on there.
But it's an older coin, so it's just how well it will do and stuff like that.
Yeah, good performer though, for sure. I mean, if we go and have a look, let's go and see what is the worst in the top 100. The worst today is
that can't be top 100, is it? Oh, it is.
Yeah. That's wrong.
That's a rug.
Yeah. Notcoin's the worst today, minus 30%. Then we got Ethereum proof of work, nearly 28. Filecoin down 25%. AR 25%. ApeCoin 25. Osmo. I mean, things have been slaughtered, haven't they? Say back down towards 20 cents.
I mean, there's some good buys out there, but it's just at what point is it a good buy?
Yeah.
Again, for me, until Bitcoin hits either 106,000 and closes daily above, or we properly retest support and it holds, I think it's madness, personally.
Yeah, let's have a look on the flip side. I've got Carver. So Carver's the best in the top 100 today.
Yeah.
That's up 6.5%, and then there's nothing real much else doing. Stable coins. Stable coins are the best. Interesting. Have you ever looked into this USDD? I've never looked into it myself.
No.
Justin Sun's algorithmic stable coin on Tron.
Which Tron seems to be getting a bit of attention from the Trump administration as well.
Does it?
Yeah. I'm sure they've been buying Tron quite heavily.
Well, speaking of Tron, have you seen Sundog? Bloody hell. That piece of shit. Let's see.
Didn't that get... I thought that got delisted on some perps, didn't it? Was that one of the ones the other day?
I don't know. I'm not too sure, but I mean, look at the state of it. This was. I think this was supposed to be like the flagship meme of Tron, weren't it? Look at the state of it. I don't know. It probably did get delisted by looking at it.
I'm sure there was definitely Mother is another one that I just saw Wiz mentioned.
Mother, yeah, let's have a look at Mother. Mother is on here somewhere. There it is.
Mother is grim.
There we go. Look at that. Yeah. So let's see. Let me remove that. Where are we? So that was the bottom of the perps listing on MEXC. Let's go down to the 4 hour. There's nothing really to the left, unless there's some on deck screen. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, where do we even go from there? Look at this. Look at it.
You can absolutely see, unless there's any I'm missing, but I think all of the meme coins, the money has been rotated out back into Bitcoin for the memes, and I think that they're going to continue to suffer. Utility will run for next. 100. ETH is going to break out. 100% will start running. And so therefore the some of the layer 2s, the ARBs, the OPs and stuff like that, I imagine will do all right as well.
Yeah.
But I just don't see the point in until we've formed the bottom on Bitcoin or reclaimed support. It's just a bit crazy at the moment.
Yeah, same for this. This was Azuki's coin that launched like over a week ago. Look at the state of it. I think this was 1 billion market cap when it went up here, and it has just completely. I mean, that is shocking. That. So yeah, interesting for sure, but yeah, the memes are suffering. I mean, they're not. To be fair, I mean, if you look through that list, you've got obviously minus Trump, which can be. I suppose it can be considered a meme or not a meme, whatever your point of view is.
What's Shib look like, though?
Let's see. Let's go to let's have a look at Shib. So it's come back into its summer lows. This is. I think we talked about it, didn't we? I think it was last Monday.
Yeah.
This would be one where it will slowly fade into the abyss. Whatever happens this cycle, wherever it goes. But in terms of the high time frame, it will get knocked off its perch. And
because I don't really hear anyone talk about it anymore.
No. It will slowly do that. I never hear anyone say the trading Shib. Never hear anyone say the buy.
It's still sitting at number 18.
Yeah.
8.5 billion market cap.
Yeah. There's so much money in it. Still, there's so much money in it still that could be unlocked and put into other memes.
Yeah.
But I do suspect that we get something like this wherever it goes. Obviously probably not from here if it has a relief or wherever. But eventually we'll put that there and it will just slowly dwindle down and fade away. Yeah. It'll probably because of the size of it, it'll probably regain some standing. But I see Pepe, overtaking it.
Oh, Pepe! Have you seen the Pepe chart?
No, but oh yeah, God, look at that. Something will overtake Shib, whatever it is. Something will overtake number 2. I mean, obviously Trump did, but that was for a short-lived period. God, yeah, look at the state of that.
But you can just see there. If it doesn't hold, it's probably another. Is there a trend line on the weekly closes, Dave?
Let's see. There probably is, isn't there? Let's see. Let's go.
You can see they're kind of clinging on, can't you?
It's trying to cling on, isn't it? It's trying to. I mean, yeah. I mean, you could draw. I mean, if you want to give it some more hope, I suppose you could.
But the thing is, if you look, Dave, there's
send it a bit further, sort of there. I suppose if you want to give it some more hope as well.
But you've got a number of weekly candles again where liquidity has just never been tested.
Yeah.
And I don't trade trend lines, but you can clearly see where the liquidity is building up without any liquidations, and then where it's probably going to head back to, or where there's a price forward in there. But some of them, I know, was it PopCat was another one that got absolutely.
PopCat, it's been absolutely.
Have you seen? There's a bit of a ongoing theme, Dave, with them all. It's not
Yeah.
they're different.
This was an interesting one. I mean, this held strong for a while, but yeah, it's been absolutely nuked. Obviously, the past 2 weeks. This one normally gets a good reaction. I mean, it was getting a good reaction from this zone here.
But that's clearly, when you see stuff like that, you can see on the weekly quite clearly there where profits were being taken from and to, and where the price was being held up from.
Yeah.
And as soon as that's then broken down through there and started closing, that means they've taken the profits that they want, and it will just continue to bleed down. And then it needs to reaccumulate, and then if it's got a chance, then get back up again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have a look at Brett as well, Dave.
You are?
Brett.
Yeah, let's have a look at Brett. Let's see. I've got it on here somewhere. Here it is.
Again,
So
all of these bid zones are, you can see where it's going to go. That it's just untested or back tests that are in there that are just going to keep chugging down. And then unless you get that wicked like V-shaped recovery once it's hit into or the sellers have kind of done their bit, it will just keep grinding down.
Yeah. Yeah, it's you sort of beg the question, don't you? Is like what ones out of them all are done? Like, what ones out of them all are done?
Go to Doge.
Then will some of them recover? Will some of them?
I'm sure you and I drew out this like support area. I think bidding Doge at 20 cents is possibly an easy trade. Such clearly like invalidation if you start losing that box, dead. Mm-hmm. But you're going to get a fight. It's probably going to go up to $1, isn't it, at some point?
Yeah, more than likely. I mean, pretty straightforward, isn't it? It's pretty straightforward, It needs to regain this box again. But I mean, the good thing is, obviously, it's not filled with any consolidation, but it now has come back and completely retraced, the inefficiency left behind by the election.
If you go on the weekly goes quickly, and then do the price actions, is it got it on there from the? There you go. Yeah. So effectively, we've had price in that zone before, haven't we?
Yeah. All in here.
So it probably doesn't need to be there for long. It's just a liquidation, and then we'll probably bounce pretty well.
Yeah, because Doge has been one of the ones that's held up, obviously, until the past 2 weeks. It's held up well. While most, if you look at, Doge compared to like PopCat or whatever, or this piece of shit. I mean, look at that. That's shocking, that, isn't it? Whereas, which one am I looking at? Oh yeah, well, like WIF WIF's been on a downtrend now since the 9th of December, so nearly 2 months where Doge has held up pretty well. I mean, obviously it had a tail off here, but then it consolidated, held up well. It's really the past 2 weeks that it's really been put to the slammer.
So if you measure the move, Dave, from like November and then up. So from the top down, for how much have we retraced down so far?
That went down to just shy of 60%. It's like 58, 59.
Yeah. So probably not got much left. It seems about right.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, this is probably one, as well, when you talk about the dollar as well, I assume it's probably going to have a lot of ETF hype as well. Because I think they've started filing for them, haven't they? I believe I seen them last week.
Did you say last week that so on X, is it Visa that have done their payment system on Visa on X? And I think Doge will be used probably as payment when Musk evolves that into that sort of like WeChat, do everything app.
Yeah.
I can see Doge potentially being one of the payment methods on there.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. And the likelihood is as well is, with all these institutions filing for ETFs and that, what's the likelihood is that they're going to reject that, especially.
I'm pretty sure, given that there's a certain individual that I'm led to believe that holds about 70% of the supply, I think it will get ETF'd, no problem.
Yeah, especially obviously with him pretty much being so next to Trump now as well. It's pretty much just nailed on, isn't it? It's pretty much just nailed on to be approved.
Yeah.
Well,
so Wiz has said mask is another one that he was looking at.
Let's have a look. Let's see. So yeah, on the weekly, came back down towards these levels in it from the summer. Let's have a look on the daily chart. I mean, in terms of the daily, it's one of the few that's up. It's green. Nice recovery on it as well. Like a lot of stuff. I mean, what's that? From the low there, it's recovered around 17% so far.
The thing is, like on the weekly, the candle closes for the highs are getting lower. Mm-hmm. So it's holding up well.
Yeah.
But I mean, if we lose about $1.80, it's gonna drop down to $1 again, isn't it? Basically.
That's just a series of lower highs, isn't it? Then you've got, one lower low, two lower low.
Yeah.
Will it maybe put in? I don't know. Obviously, maybe to try and retest that third lower low. Don't know.
Yeah. It's on the daily, it looks all right today.
Yeah.
But if you look at the weekly, it just looks. Still, obviously, it's got lots of upside, and I think it's got some decent. Is this another CZ one?
I don't know actually.
No.
Probably is.
But it just.
I mean, you can draw it however you want, can't you? You could even, you can even probably put it in a channel if you really want to as well.
Yeah. Like I say, it's not really my preferred way of trading, but it's just to see that, just to confirm the kind of direction of travel. And this is what I was saying again the other day last week. There's nothing I look at there and go, long the shit out of this because we're breaking out. It's just grind, and like the weekly candles are a bit.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, isn't it? This is a very interesting one. XRP. If we get rid of this, if you want to sort of draw that wherever you want. What do you think on this? This is, potentially maybe. I don't know whether this is done or not. And maybe, if it does come back up, it creates just a lower high and then dwindles down. I don't know. Where do you stand on this?
I hate XRP in general, and for everything it stands for. It's a difficult one. Where's my charts? Let me have a quick look. I was initially looking around about 3.6 to 3.8 to catch this short move that we've got now.
Yeah.
But the next level really of support on XRP, if it loses, probably even if it loses $2.32-ish, $2.26. Sorry, $2.26. I'll say around about that area. If it loses that on the daily, we could drop down to 1.4, 1.5. That kind of interruption there.
Slam it right into the rear.
Yeah. And then hopefully it loses that. The thing is, the reason a lot of altcoins have been suffering, everyone cited that it was Trump and Melania and stuff like that. The biggest drain on capital from Total 3 has been BNB, Solana, and XRP.
Yeah.
Really. What you got in your drink today, Dave?
I actually just got coffee today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just thought I'll have a change. I'll have a change. But yeah, that is, and then obviously then you have a few smaller ones as well in it, like Algo, XLM, HBAR, all swallowed up liquidity. You know, if you look at HBAR on the daily, very similar run. That did like a 7x.
Very similar pattern. And the thing is, if they don't hold support, they're just going to, which is great. This is, again, it was one of those that I'd had as a marker for all coins was XRP, HBAR and stuff. We might have talked about it last week. If they lost support and they dropped, you're going to get far more liquidity that potentially cycles into them into altcoins just by XRP dropping 30%.
Yeah.
What does BNB look like, Dave?
I haven't looked at that. I don't really look at BNB, do you?
It's the worst looking chart or untradable chart.
Bloody hell, look at that.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, the price action, it's pure manipulation at its finest.
It's always been manipulated, though, hasn't it? I mean, the way that it was held up, I remember it well. I mean, really, the destination for this should have been down here.
Yeah.
But it was pretty much just Binance just holding it up all throughout these lows. It should, the destination for it should have been filling all that, maybe at best here.
Yeah.
If you want to slam it into there.
But there is obviously, there's on other exchanges and stuff, there is huge amounts of liquidity that will potentially never get collected, and the books are balanced.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it now, it's wild, isn't it? It's wild. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just grim.
I mean, really, it should just be running through this now. I mean, obviously, it's ran through there.
But there is no obvious levels of support there because of the way it's so there's no way, in my opinion, anyway, you can trade it. It's
I think it's probably the least exciting of. It's definitely the least exciting of the top ones as well. I mean, even ETH, you'd probably have more fun trading ETH than this, because at least you get, at least you've got some rationality behind where price can go and how it gets there. This is a very odd looking chart. I don't think I've ever actually seen a chart look like that before, to be honest.
No, it's not.
I mean, that's very, very strange, isn't it?
The good news is it looks like Bitcoin's starting to generally start grinding down, coming into New York open. What are you feeling, Dave? Bitcoin?
Guess what I've got?
Go on. Hey, love it. Ring that bell.
I think there's probably going to be some. There's going to be some selling on opening it. I can't see how there's not.
What's the pre-market is 161 down, which is not good. So yeah, we're probably the SPX is down a bit. Do you try?
Look, it's standard dead cat bounce, and it's what we said before, wasn't it, on stream?
Yeah.
Come in, and then you roll over, and then, you go and maybe take out them. Maybe you take out the full thing. Who knows? We'll have to see. But it's looking like it pretty much. When did we got one of these the other day? Is this one? Yeah, this one. It's standard dead cat bounce, and then roll over.
Hopefully, it don't roll over quite as deep as that. I'd say that yellow box the box between 91 and 92 is where I'd like to see some form of.
It would be good as well for trapping shorts. People literally trying to short support. It'd be a good place to really trap some people. Because you don't try and you wouldn't try and short it there, but people will. I wonder what is the Mag 7 doing pre-market. So we've got Nvidia is down to 115. We've got Apple down to 229. We've got Meta down. All of them I assume will be down, but just by how much? We've got obviously Amazon down, Tesla.
Tell you what's not down. Gold is motoring on.
Yeah. The safe haven. I tell you what though, you wouldn't be buying gold up there, would you?
I've been saying that for weeks, and it just keeps
going. Like, even if you're a gold bull, you must be thinking to yourself, hang on, literally, like, it's done. So if we go back to the monthly chart on gold, considering that it did nothing for like 11 years, if you're going back to this box, it literally did nothing for like 11. Oh, what was it? No, not 11 years. Like 6 years. It literally did nothing. It traded within a couple of $100 range. Since then, we're nearing on about 2.5x, something like that. For the people that accumulate gold, that's probably a substantial amount of money at 2.5x. But still, you're at the point now, aren't you, where it probably does get a spike if it needs to collapse. But you wouldn't be buying gold there now, would you?
Well, the thing is obviously the more expensive it becomes, the more money it takes to move it higher. And it's that kind of range from 2020 to 2024 is probably is where we're going to drop to.
Yeah, there's a little bit here.
Yeah. So, yeah. Just above that. Or at least I'd retest it.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be fun.
And like I say, that the amount of liquidity that would actually free up. So, like I say, my targets for gold is 2,850 up to 2,900.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see when we get there. Like I say, we could get there today, and if we get there today, then we are another trigger closer to potentially some good times crypto-wise.
Yeah.
Not to give false hope to everyone, obviously.
Yeah. Where did you say you're looking? Sorry, what levels? 2,900?
2,850 to 2,900.
Yeah, because typically with these types of things, it's the same with Bitcoin, and it is you don't get the ideal round number. $2,000 will probably be front run by sellers, and obviously people shorting it, then dumping into the market.
Exactly that. Yeah.
You probably don't, unless we get some sort of unforeseen thing that spikes it. Obviously people then be like, quick, run into a safe asset, quick. You probably don't. Yeah, you don't get the tag at a round number.
No. We're very, very close again to an all-time high, which we'll probably take out today. But yes, it very much look for what Christian taught me was the quarters. So 25, 50, 2,500 kind of. Then fractals. That's been pummeled, Metis.
Yeah. Say pummeled. Go to the weekly chart. Yeah, it's not the best outlook, like, is it?
Uh,
Oh dear.
the thing is, some people will go, well, what if we've had the top? What if that's the bull market over?
Yeah.
I'm not considering that personally. I think we have a brighter times ahead.
Yeah. That's what I mean, because there would literally be no industry left. It would just be all decimated. It would be obliterated, all of it.
Yeah.
Which is, I suppose probably what Bitcoin maxis have always been warning of. But I can't see it happening. But there is one thing for sure: I will be Bitcoin maxi after this cycle. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think that is. Well, the thing is, I was talking to, Zane. I was talking to him the other day, and he was saying he'd been better off just putting all his money in Bitcoin as opposed to 65 million alts, and because just basically outside of those dinosaur coins and maybe OM, what's really in the profit now?
Yeah.
Not really. It's all a bit miserable. But is misery what we want? To kind of enable us to break out. Once the sentiment's dismal, then hopefully the lovely market makers might be kind to us and finally send some stuff.
Yeah. And the thing is, even if, for those of you that are watching now, even if you're nowhere near, or it doesn't seem like you're going to get anywhere near your cycle target, I don't think you'll actually need that. If you just target a Bitcoin strategy for the next cycle, I don't think you'll actually need that much money to be able to sort of, set yourself free if that's what you want. Say we get back down towards this level, which is I think this is my probably ideal level for accumulating for sure. Anywhere near here.
The thing is, next cycle, or if you buy there in the bear market, you're gonna at least 10x, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, look at this chart, right? For the people that think it's going to 200-300k this cycle, that chart is not going to 200-300k this cycle. Look at it. It's got one more leg up and then it's cooked in it. That is not going all the way up here this cycle.
Well, the thing is, if my projections are right with the amount of market cap that crypto gets this cycle, you would think that this could probably, that Bitcoin, if it had 50% dominance at 7 trillion market cap, you're going to be at 180 for Bitcoin. If the dominance is higher, then you can probably get to, I do think there's a high probability we get above 200 grand.
Oh, this cycle?
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
Ah, that's interesting. I thought you had it. I thought you were sort of looking at 120, 130.
I think that 120, 130 is this next leg up. If we get the double pump, basically. If we get the double pump, then we should get there. If we don't...
right, okay.
But obviously there's lots of external factors that need to come to fruition.
I mean, that would be brutal, wouldn't it? Imagine if it got all the way up there and comes back down here. That would be so funny. Yeah. I would love that.
Or
that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting. I was thinking like here, and then I'm done.
Yeah. And obviously, again, there's lots of external factors.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, those lower price voids we could have the next push up, then a major pullback to that 30, and then I think where have I got it written? So last cycle, where have I got it written down, Dave? Bitcoin, top to bottom, was something like a 72% pullback last cycle. 77%.
77, yeah.
So if you went to say 200 grand and you replicated that,
Yeah.
where's 77 there?
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, pretty much slammed into this little bit here, innit?
Yeah, I could see 40 to 50 grand is the bottom of this cycle if we get the double pump.
Yeah.
But we would need to close the liquidity voids lower down that. Otherwise, it doesn't really make sense from a pullback standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, I mean, if it, I suppose, for argument's sake of the high time frame of, looking at anywhere, up here, wherever you want to draw it, the sake of buying at 30k, 35k, 40k is negligible in it. If you sort of then after the cycle looking at, sort of them types of figures, whatever it may be.
Would you, if you're going to be a Bitcoin maxi, would you then rotate it in and out at like buying and selling at different price points to kind of leverage your position up?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think I would probably just head short on perps.
Yeah.
I think instead of actually selling my holdings, I think I'd probably just hedge as a leverage play instead. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I wish that. I mean, I suppose everyone wishes, don't they, that they just went all full Bitcoin now, unless you've done really well in the altcoins, which I know a few people have. But yeah, I mean, if you even have done really well in the altcoins and you've still held them, you've probably retraced most of the gains by now, haven't you?
Yes. But the thing is, for the most part, we know that Bitcoin shouldn't really go anywhere, right? I mean, altcoins in themselves are going to have brutal pullbacks during the bear market.
Yeah.
But there's a store of value and a long-term kind of hold.
Yeah.
Rather a mixture of Bitcoin and some stables, I think is probably the bear market strategy that I'll be doing personally.
Yeah, for sure.
We've got 11 minutes, Dave.
11 minutes until we'll see what happens.
Tell me where you're thinking.
Well, I'm thinking we're probably going to drop on open. I think throughout the session, it's interesting, isn't it? I kind of like the idea that we fill in. Where's that wick? It's this wick, in it. Hang on. Let me go to the 4-hour chart. I kind of like the idea that we fill in this wick, but I don't know. And sort of bounce it on the daily again to trap people below support, and then I don't know if we get there or not. But it's looking like a dead cat bounce. But I mean, that would be a good trap, again, just to mess with people. Take liquidity below that wick, fill it in, and then obviously daily close back inside. Let's go and have a look at liquidity. Let's see what the heat map's saying. I assume there's.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to quickly go for a comfort break.
Yes, no worries, mate. Take your time. It's not really anything on the 24-hour size-wise. Obviously, just top and bottom, isn't it, of these? Let's go to the 2-day. I assume there's lots. Oh, okay, so yeah, that got took out. Okay. 3-day. So there's a nice chunk at 96.1. There's a nice chunk of liquidity at 96.1. So let's go and we'll draw that on. Let's go and have a look. Let's see. So 96.1. Yeah, pretty much just above there.
Back.
He's back. So that's a decent area of liquidity. Obviously, then we're going probably too high for today. Let's have a look at the weekly chart. Yeah, nothing substantial. 2 week, apart from the lows.
So on the current intraday or today, we are at above the daily pop.
Right.
So normally we would expect to either take out from here the Asian high or low.
Yeah.
So I would say
This is a decent bunch of liquidity at 90,700, which doesn't fill in that wick from a couple of weeks ago. However, it does fill in and sweep the one from today.
yeah, the entire range point of control is about $97,000. The Asia session high is 97,800.
Right.
So possibly sweep above there.
Yeah.
And if we do that, then I might scalp short it. Might. I'm tempted to trade it, Dave.
That's oh no, that's up here, isn't it?
So we've also got ISM manufacturing PMI at 3 p.m.
Haha. What else have we got this week? Let's see.
Got Jolts tomorrow.
Have we?
Yeah. Non-farm on Wednesday.
Let's see when we've got everything.
Unemployment Thursday.
Yeah.
Pretty much every day this week we've got something.
Friday we got NFP.
I think we're going to get some volatility. I know we've had a lot of volatility anyway.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get the volume push this week.
And then a week on Wednesday we have CPI. Interesting, yeah. Don't have any FOMC until the middle of March now. But yeah, I mean this week, yeah, that NFP on Friday will be like a firework as well.
Yeah, so I'm having a look on. Where did we have a CME? Where was the CME gap on Bitcoin this week?
I think it was 102. Let's see, BTC one. I think it was 102. I think. Let's see. Yeah, so yeah, up towards 102. It opened at 98,430. So there's a big gap. There is a big gap, to be fair. That's quite sizable.
Yeah.
And then to the downside, which I assume doesn't get filled in until much later on in the cycle, is 80,000 down towards like just below 78. So that is that's a decent gap as well to the downside. I mean, really, when you look at it, what's that to the top of there? That's 7%, and then to the bottom of there is 18.
We just if we dropped 18% on Bitcoin, unless dominance drops like a stone, I think all coins would be dead.
Oh yeah. It would be a completely barren market, wouldn't it? It would be, yeah. It's The thing is, a lot of them just wouldn't recover, would they? They just wouldn't recover. They would recover to an aspect, but we wouldn't be getting a full run on them. It would just go too deep, wouldn't it, to recover?
Yeah.
I mean,
so we've got 4 minutes. So I'm going to watch gold probably rocket, SPX shit itself, and then crypto might go up. That'd be controversial. I'm saying that if the SPX opens down, it might recover straight away anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not. For me, just no. It's just no point trading any perps until, like I say, Bitcoin forms its actual low point or actually reclaims the highs.
Yeah, that's it. Right, let's have that.
Who else you got on this week, Dave?
I'll have Save with Crypto as usual on Wednesday. And I think Wiz is coming on Thursday or Friday. He just needs to let me know.
Yeah.
So it says, if this is it, I'm joining the circus. Mate, if this is it, I'm going to have to start doing a different type of camming. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to have to get myself on a few other platforms. I think a few naughty ones. If this is it for the cycle.
Where do I sign up, Dave?
Right, it's got it. Yeah. Well, yeah. It's gonna have to be a pretty penny as well.
Would you keep the same outfit, or would you should like dock yourself?
Yeah, maybe for the premium payers, maybe I'd slowly like take it off as like a little seduction video.
Very titillating.
Yeah, maybe only Dave. Maybe should make a site called Only Dave's.
Oh damn! What do you think, Wiz? What's going to happen? New York Open. I want to see what he types.
Yeah, Wiz, tell us. What do you think's going to happen? Come on, spill the beans. We've got 1 minute, and don't try and wait until US Open actually happens.
Pump then pump. Well, gold is already warming up. Yeah.
I wonder how long it takes for the market to sort of become desensitized to the tariff talk.
But the thing is, to me, again, being the way I am, I think it's just news is just all it does is just expedites where it needs to go to. I don't think it actually does anything like markets open.
Yeah, there we go. Come on then. Nothing too exciting.
SPX is opened badly down. So it's close. The good thing is, putting my positive pants on, Dave.
Yeah.
We have got a price void to fill from the 14th of January. And we're very close to that now. That goes down to 5,842.
Yeah.
So we might come down to that. I'm going to possibly suggest we do not do much now and we might get the volume push later on.
Oh,
3 p.m. is it?
Yeah.
You've got your bell, Dave.
Fuck.
Yes, we're open.
God damn it. First day. Thank you, Adam, for reminding me in the chat. And Reggie. God damn it. First day as well, and I forgot it already. That's definitely just going to sit on my desk until someone says bell. Oh, yeah, getting a night. Yeah. See, the thing is, you just don't trust this at all, do you? There's no trust in this at all. Like, even this tiny little pump that we're getting here, if you can call it a pump, a few $100s, there's no trust in it. You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. We are coming up to that sort of low time frame lick. That's obviously above the London high.
Well, basically, all we're doing here is filling in the gap, aren't we?
Yeah.
From close Friday to open today.
Let's go and have a look at.
Gold's pushing.
Let's see. Mag 7. Let's see. So we've got Nvidia. Big gap. Yeah, big gap opened. Apple. Yeah, they've all got big gaps. They'll all probably look very similar. However, Meta is strong at the moment, isn't it? Got Microsoft again, filling in some gap already. Amazon again, same. So it's really, is it really just Nvidia? Nvidia, Apple look like the two weaker ones at the moment, and Tesla as well.
Tesla's got smashed.
Yeah.
Microsoft, Amazon.
Same as Nvidia. Nvidia down 4%. Same as Tesla. Bitcoin miners are getting smashed. MicroStrategy, I haven't looked at that in a while. Let's see what that's doing. To be fair, I suppose still kind of all right. But again, this is another one, isn't it? When we talk about like the Mag 7 and stuff like that, I mean, what does if
It's basically all MicroStrategy is now. It's basically a Bitcoin ETF, isn't it? That's all it is.
Yeah, pretty much. Because that's another contagion risk, isn't it? You know, in the event of a stock market crash, MicroStrategy gets pulled down with it, of course. Then obviously that then gets shifted onto Bitcoin. So it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, can you imagine? Can you imagine how much he'd be sat there just absolutely lapping it up if Bitcoin goes to 200k? It'll be like the bloody King Dick of all King Dicks, won't it?
It might be a bit unpleasant.
He'll be absolutely loving it. And then all them unrealized gains will get wiped out.
Right, so we are getting the push up on Bitcoin as expected.
We are.
SPX is not really doing much. I think it breaks down.
The thing is, on a day like this, obviously after the the panic and stuff like that, the first 30 minutes is when the institutions let retail trade in it and position themselves, and then they come in and will just wreck everything.
Yeah.
So they'll let retail do the thing for the first 15, 30 minutes, and then they'll go, right, okay, now it's our turn. And then whichever way retail are positioned, they'll just go and wipe them out.
Yeah. So we've got, because retail up until this point is it's nowhere near as involved as it has been in previous cycles at this moment in time. I don't believe.
No.
No. But yeah, I would say Asian session high would be the first point of port call, and then
which will be,
I would be looking at $90. Sorry, look on the 4 hour. I would be looking at 98,500-ish, 98,600 as potential rejection.
Yeah. I mean, at least everyone gets a bit of short-term altcoin relief. Only for them to get shat all over again.
I don't think there's going to be much relief, Dave, to be honest with you. It's going to be pretty grim all week. Well, for a few days anyway.
Hey, look at that jelly. Jelly. God, look at it. It went down even more. That's diabolical, that.
What's this on?
This launched, I think it launched on Friday or it launched on Thursday. And it just absolutely nuked from launch. Like, it's down 85%. Yeah,
What's the
Thursday.
meme coin?
Yeah, Thursday it launched. And I'm guessing that went down about 90-95% of total. But yeah, currently down 85%.
You might as well just wait for things to launch and just short it, right?
Pretty much, yeah. That's. I mean, look at that DeepSeek. That DeepSeek that launched on this one, MEXC. I think you could literally just short it from as soon as it got listed. Well, it went up. Let's see.
Well, have you seen all since that came out? Obviously, wiped out $1 trillion, whatever it was, of market cap. There's been a lot of FUD since, as expected. That's basically just said they haven't done it for the price that they've said. They haven't done it at the time they've said, and there's just lots of
Yeah, what a surprise.
Unfactual claims.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell that anyway, though, couldn't you? Because what did they say? They did it for like 6 million. Something that's ridiculous, wasn't it?
I have one of the computers for that sort of like processes it all. So
yeah,
it's just all a bit nonsense, really. But the fact that the market had that much of a reaction from some new competition, says all you need to know of what's to come at some point.
Oh yeah, 100%, yeah. And that's it, innit? Nvidia is like the core of it all. It's like at the epicenter of it all. It's pretty wild, really. But there we go. I mean, it's going to lead to some fantastic shorting opportunities. Like, if you can sort of, if you can sort of try and identify the top in the markets, you just short it. You just walk away for 6 months, don't you? That's all you do. That's all you have to do. Especially on crypto as well. If you can try and catch the top, you don't even need to catch the top though, do you? If you use low leverage 2-3x, you can position yourself well to, if it does go up an extra 10-15%, whatever, you're still well alive. But yeah, short it and just walk away. Hopefully, that would be nice. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, let's see what's Doge doing. Not much. Interesting.
What's the key? What is Bitcoin dominance doing, Dave?
Yeah, I hadn't even noticed that wick that it had.
So it's rising a bit.
Yeah,
I mean, Bitcoin dominance now, we need this thing to come down 12-13%. Like into the 50s, like low 50s. I have a number of 56 is one, 51.33, and then 47.7. But for alts to run, I still don't think alts will run until Bitcoin hits 120,000 and we start distributing from there.
Yeah,
I just can't see it personally.
Yeah, I mean, it makes perfect sense, doesn't it? But yeah, that's it's a bit of a wild wick, isn't it? This week will be a big week for Bitcoin dominance for sure.
Yes, I just think everyone's just a bit tired of it all now. And I keep trying to tell myself the longer it compresses for and the longer we wait, the more explosive the move will be out.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're in altcoins, I dare say there's not many people that probably accumulated at these levels. So you're going to need a decent push just to get back to break even. Or
yeah, I mean the thing is, a lot of people, you know, you would imagine a lot of people are out of money by now, aren't they? You know, there's no more spare capital to carry on buying dips. That dip.
Yeah. At what point does the dip turn into just a nuke and end of cycle kind of thing? Yeah, that's the thing with it all. So
yeah,
it's a dangerous game. I've not touched my spot bags. I don't plan to touch my spot bags. I'm just going to leave them as is. And then we can. I think most of my trading this week will be done doing looking at Forex. As usual, I started trading some indices last week as well. Forex, gold, and just something sensible. Until we get that clarification from Bitcoin, I just think if you're looking to day trade, my spiritual guidance would be look outside of crypto at the moment.
Yeah, because you're going to get, unless you're already positioned, you know, if you were up and you caught the Pico bottom in, you're willing to let it ride out with a stop loss at break even. You know, you're just going to get chopped off if you haven't already got a profitable position in that you're willing to let run.
Yeah.
You know, opening and closing trades around these levels and stuff like that. Yeah, a recipe to get chopped off.
It's not the smartest place to trade, is what I would say. It's just full of danger, and there's easier things to trade. You don't trade much Forex or anything anymore, do you, Dave?
No, I haven't done it in a while. No, I haven't in a while. It'd be interesting to see what the charts look like though, because I haven't checked the charts in ages. But I suspect that'd probably be, because my idea is to just completely position short the fuck out of Bitcoin and maybe one or two other cryptos, but probably focus on position short in Bitcoin.
Well, in hindsight, what I would probably do and what you've done this time, next cycle round, I probably, outside of Bitcoin, maybe ETH, I will not trade, perps trade anything else.
Yeah.
I'll just buy spot in crypto and maybe just day trade Forex and commodities.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, really, when you think about it as well, eventually Bitcoin will become very similar to like trading like the S&P. Eventually, you know, you'll be able to, you get full liquidity sweeps. There's no weird sort of irrational PA or anything, like erratic PA. It will sort of mature into that type of asset, but
it just comes down to liquidity.
Yeah.
I think I said last week, the higher the liquidity, the lower the time frame I'll trade it. So my primary focus when I do Forex, I trade the 1 minute charts. Not obviously, I have other TA outside of those time frames, but they're obviously highly liquid.
Yeah.
Same thing with gold. Whereas, if you're, I would not dream of doing that on altcoins. And this phase in the cycle, I don't even, especially with volatility, I've not bothered looking really at many altcoins below the daily time frame.
Yeah.
It's just, to me, just a recipe to get smashed. Gold is pushing hard, Dave.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, I mean, you can see, you know, I always did wonder I always did wonder. I always thought, why are people a Bitcoin maxi? I don't get it, in terms of like percentage returns. But I think it's kind of untrue because last cycle, this wasn't the case. Do you know what I mean? Like the environment was not this last cycle, but particularly this cycle, you can see, right, okay, you know exactly what Bitcoin maxis are speaking about now.
Yeah.
But that's really only come about this cycle. That wasn't the case last cycle. You could get 100x within a week.
Yeah.
Pretty comfortably. But I think from here on in, I think that is definitely the way to go.
Well, the thing is, if you can get 10x, I know it's a bit boring, but if you bought at the bottom of the cycle, which is easy enough to probably look at,
yeah,
you could probably do 10x and then 10x again in like a 4 or 5 year period, 5 year period, 6 year period. So then you're 100x on your Bitcoin. Really, if you can do 2 to 10x's, if you can buy the tops and bottoms or in and around.
Mm-hmm.
There's not many investments I can think of that you could do that in a 5 year period.
No.
Unless you catch Amazon or like early days of that kind of thing. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's it.
This all looks a bit boring, Dave. I'm not sure much else is going to happen.
It does. It looks, it's not very explosive, is it? I suppose, yeah. Like I said, though, maybe they're just letting retail trade for a bit, and then we get a little afternoon slammer or something. I don't know.
Or they just don't have any volume to do today.
Yeah, maybe.
Let it distribute, and then, like I say, we've got jolts tomorrow. We've got a few more. I think every day he's got some form of news.
Yeah. What's the S&P doing? Is it dropping or is it just flat?
Flat.
Is it?
Absolutely. It's traded since open. Traded in a 0.4% range.
Yeah.
So,
we'll see what happens. I do assume that we get Mr. Orange Man opening his mouth more as well this week, which will probably cause some fun as well. Yeah. MAGA. Get your MAGA hat on. Yeah, there we go. I need to get one like yours. I thought I'm sure.
I've got mine from New York. I've got a T-shirt as well.
Oh, have you? I'm sure mine was advertised like that when I bought it, and it come and writing's tiny. Yeah. But, yeah, I'll have to get a new one. But yeah, thank you very much for coming on, mate. Greatly.
No worries.
And where can people find you? Do you have anything where people can find you, or do you not really have?
I don't. I'm not a.
Well, I suppose you can find him in the CSE Discord, or you are in the Stonksy one as well, aren't you?
Yeah, I've got to do other bits and pieces.
Well, for those of you that are in either of them two, that's where you can find Justin. But we will have you on again, mate, as well, because it is good fun for as long as you can. You are?
Whenever you want me.
Yeah, well, whenever you want to come on, mate. There's always a day for you. I think everyone loves it as well, because I think we've still got 62 people watching as well, which is quite high for YouTube numbers anyway, at the moment. So,
well, have a lovely day, Dave.
Yes, you do, mate. Big thank you. Yeah, and big thank you to everyone who's joined. Make sure you drop a like on the stream and subscribe, and check them links in the description as well before you go. But yeah, we'll have Justin on again whenever, maybe next week again. Who knows? We'll see.
Yeah. All right, I'll catch you later. See you later, everyone.
Yeah, everyone. Bye.
Bye.